Dynamic, articulate, perceptive, courageous, outspoken.
Welcome back to the dojo. We back with another one. This one may be a chilling story. It's on Atozy channel. I guess that's how you pronounce his name, Atozy. This horrifying TikTok challenge ended her life. Usually Atozy, I've checked out his channel before. He's got over 1 million subscribers. So he's a reputable channel. I want to see what this story is about. I'm gonna go ahead and full screen it, and we're gonna get right into this. Let's see.
This 19-year-old girl was left brain dead after trying out a TikTok trend with her boyfriend. So this is just another hard story to cover because, once again, in the same month, I'm talking about yet another teenager whose life was lost due to an internet trend. And I feel like these trends and tragedies are more avoidable than ever, hence why I decided to make these videos because, hey, clearly there's some awareness needed around blindly doing some trend that you see on TikTok. When in doubt, don't. Because earlier this month, I covered a story of a guy named Michael, who was an 18-year-old who had his life taken away when him and his friends decided to allegedly play a modified version of Ding Dong Ditch together at 3 in the morning, where you essentially jump kick the door instead of ringing the doorbell. But this time, it's...
What? Jump kicking the door instead of ring... Man. These TikTok challenges, bro. I saw the one with the Tide Pods and the devious lick and the NyQuil chicken and all that. Bro, what is going on in the minds of people these days? Like, is it just to go viral? Like, just to get a few more followers? Like, I understand it's a little difficult to get a following on TikTok unless you really putting something out there that people like. But, bro, this is not it, bro. Pranks, bro. People... There was somebody that pranked somebody at the mall and ended up getting shot. Like, yo, you cannot be playing. This is not the time to be playing with people. You can't be out here playing with people or pranking people. Like, because you don't know what people are, you don't know what type of demons people are dealing with out here. And that just may be your last day playing with the wrong one. Let's go ahead and get back into this, man.
Brenna O'Rourke, a 19-year-old from Tempe, Arizona, who was described as a one-of-a-kind and someone who dreamt of becoming famous.
Brenna O'Rourke, a 19-year-old from Tempe, Arizona, tragically passed away after participating in a TikTok trend known as dusting. Brenna had door-dashed aerosol keyboard cleaner to her home and inhaled it, leading to cardiac arrest. Brenna's father, Aaron O'Rourke, shared, "She always said, 'I'm going to be famous, Dad.'"
It's clear that Brenna wanted her name to be known. It's just unfortunate that this is the reason why. And I feel like...
So, dusting, you inhale an aerosol can. Let me take it back to see what it was.
And known as dusting. Brenna had door-dashed aerosol keyboard cleaner to her home.
Okay, so it was a keyboard cleaner. She inhaled the keyboard cleaner and it poisoned her and she died. Wow. TikTok really should have been banned, bro. TikTok really should have been. I don't care how you feel about TikTok. There have been countless people going to jail and losing their lives behind TikTok challenges and trends. I really think TikTok is the worst social media. I have a TikTok, but I hardly ever use it. I used to post my my Dragon Seal clothing on there. It got some views, but I can't really focus on doing that right now because I don't have the capital. You know what I mean? But either way, this young girl lost her life because of a trend. People doing TikTok trends, ending their life, just trying to go viral. It's like, man, it's so not worth it.
And inhaled it, leading to cardiac arrest. Brenna's father, Aaron O'Rourke, shared, "She always said, 'I'm going to be famous, Dad.'"
It's clear that Brenna wanted her name to be known. It's just unfortunate that this is the reason why. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of the stories I cover start off this way. It's like the whole "I'm going to be famous" mindset. And that's why there's just so many TikTokers end up either getting banned, arrested, becoming universally hated, or having a tragic ending like this.
And it's always one of those four. It's always one of the four. If they don't get the notoriety and the celebrity or whatever, it's always going to be one of those four. Universally hated, arrested, dead, or just banned. You know what I mean? It's always one of those four. So if you're somebody trying to go viral, don't go viral. You got to do this thing organically. You got to work and build yourself up, post content every single day, and people got to like what you're doing. If people don't like what you're doing, then that's too bad. People don't care about making you famous or seeing you in the spotlight. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. Don't risk life and limb trying to be famous or trying to go viral. Please do not do it. Please. If this video comes across your desk, please do not do it.
But this is just nothing short of a completely preventable tragedy. Rena was only 19 when she lost her life after attempting something known as dusting, which honestly, that's been around for ages, but in recent times, TikTok has also popularized it. And if you don't know what it is,
here we go. My computer again. Come on.
it is massive warning. Never try this whatsoever. Please don't. That is my disclaimer. Never do something. But it's essentially inhaling computer duster because that gives you some short-term high, apparently. And obviously, this isn't just about one tragedy. This is also about a deadly online trend that represents an even larger and deeper problem that I'll talk about later on in this video. So what happened? On June 1st, 2025, Rena and her boyfriend DoorDashed a can of keyboard cleaner, something that is honestly fairly common. I probably have one laying around somewhere here. After the can was delivered, Rena and her boyfriend retreated into her room. And then I guess they decided to do this trend. And just seconds after inhaling the keyboard cleaner, Rena went into cardiac arrest. She never regained consciousness. And after a week in the ICU, Rena was declared brain dead on June 1st, 2025. Doctors then later confirmed the cause of her death as sudden sniffing death syndrome, which is an absolutely horrifying yet also fake.
A sudden sniffing death syndrome. Bro, these trends just get crazier and crazier, wilder and wilder. Now, I know that people have been sniffing paint. People have been sniffing all types of aerosols. But she was probably new. She took a whole bunch in. She probably put the thing in front of her nose and just inhaled the whole, just the raw, the raw spray. And it stopped her heart. It just stopped her heart. Cardiac arrest. Her blood wasn't pumping through her body anymore. Her brain was dead. Man. That's sad. And I know her family is going through it. He probably had plenty of chances to get her off of TikTok or take her phone away from her. Or maybe she was just a good girl and there was never no sign of her doing anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure she made dancing videos like all the young girls do with music and all this other stuff. But they probably said, look, we're going to go viral. We're going to do this dusting. Man, let me continue.
Sounding name. I had no idea that this was a thing. Let's talk about what she did and why exactly it's dangerous.
The trend, also called chroming or huffing, involves inhaling household cleaners for a brief euphoria. According to the Cleveland Clinic, this can cause instant fatal heart failure.
As I mentioned earlier, dusting isn't exactly new. Inhalants have been a problem for decades, and dusting is just the term for inhaling compressed air specifically. Similar to how spray paint is chroming and huffing refers to fumes like glue or gasoline. They all essentially do the same thing, just different chemicals. Tomato, tomato. And while inhalants like this usually only last for a few seconds, the effects are immediately devastating and sometimes permanent. Rena didn't collapse a few days, hours, or even minutes after the first inhaling, but seconds. I'm sure that you can guess, but this can not only result in seizures, but, failure of the liver, heart, brain, and so on and so on. Basically, if you're wondering which organs might die as a result of dusting, the answer is yes.
Why? Because it's
every last one of them. I don't know what's in that type of stuff, but it's all chemical poison. Nothing good for you can come from sniffing, huffing, chroming, whatever y'all call that stuff. Like, no good can come from it. Look, bro, if you want to get high, get you a blunt, okay? Get you a blunt. If you really just got to get high, smoke a blunt. I smoked for over 16 years and I'm okay. I'm not collapsed. I'm okay. That's the only recommendation I can give you. If you want to get high, smoke some weed. You know what I mean? Or get some edibles or something like that. This is not the way. Do not dust. Do not chrome or whatever they huffing. Don't do it. Because you're going to end up a lot worse off than you were before. Don't do it.
Cheap, easy to get, no smell, no ID. And the worst part, it doesn't show up on drug tests. Parents don't even know it's happening. Kids think it's safe because it's just air, but it's not. One breath can literally stop your heart. It replaces the oxygen in your lungs and shuts your body down. That's what happened to Rena O'Rourke. She collapsed. She never opened her eyes again.
And I'm really drilling this in because, holy clearly we need some awareness here. And yes, I realize I'm coming across as like a worried, angry father, because I kind of am. And I get this has been going on for so long, but it's not too late to stop it. What's sudden sniffing death syndrome? Dr. Stephen Axe actually describes this as making your heart more susceptible to fight or flight stimuli, which can trigger an irregular and fatal heart rhythm. Your heart just may stop. And when that happens, it may be difficult to revive that person. You don't need to be addicted. You don't need to do it multiple times. One time, and if you're unlucky enough, you're gone forever. So doing this is essentially like playing Russian roulette with zero upside. So I'm making this video to give the extremely clear message: do not try inhalants. And if you're in school, never let a classmate do it either. Because this next part may sound unbelievable, but unfortunately it's true. In a 2024 study out of Michigan, a survey was conducted and had horrifying results. Around 4% of 8th graders admitted to have trying inhalants within the last year. That's just absolutely crazy to think about, especially when you find out that there's even higher percentage of older teens that are doing this. And obviously, like, kids this young have to have been learning about it from somewhere. Now, I could just be disconnected because I didn't grow up in the States. I grew up in Norway. But I can very confidently say that 0 people in my entire grade were doing inhalants like that, at least up.
You don't know who was doing what, bro. You don't know who was doing what. You probably didn't have a whole lot of friends and you weren't in the loop with everybody. Come on, bro. He said 0%. Bro, you don't know who was doing what, bro. You can't even say that.
Until what? Even beyond 10th grade, I had no knowledge of it. But still,
Exactly. You had no knowledge of it. So there's no way you can say that somebody wasn't doing it. It could have been somebody that nobody really... Bro, do you know how many people attend high school, middle school? Like, there's so many people. There's so many people you never even talk to. And you're saying, come on, bro.
Worried social media is excelling trends like this. And Rena's parents have been going viral on their own by trying to raise awareness about dusting specifically. And they make a lot of very good points. For example, not only is keyboard duster extremely common and easy to find, but it's cheap, odorless, and doesn't require ID. And it doesn't show up on any drug tests, really. And as Dr. Axe puts it, they're widely available. Plus, teens hear about other kids having done it, they're more likely to experiment and take risks themselves, which leads us to the real issue, the underlying pressure behind all this. Rena wanted to be famous, and like millions of others her age, she unfortunately grew up in an era where virality is perceived as validation. That's a massive problem, because if all you need is virality for validation, often the more outrageous things become, the more viral it gets. This isn't...
That's true. That's true. The more outrageous the stunt, the more likely people are going to watch it and be like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's just pure chaos. We're just watching chaos in real time because nothing else is interesting to you. You know what I mean? It's all about the chaos. So that's what they do. They just do chaotic things to go viral.
Just peer pressure. It's essentially like an algorithmic pressure. Like, we've seen it, like TikTok challenges involving dangerous stunts, and then just people just simply harassing people for some basic attention online. This happens over and over again. Obviously, we've been covering this for years on this channel. Influencers doing borderline insane things for one single clip. Kids risking their health for likes and views. I feel like it used to be so much more isolated. What used to be a quiet experiment that some morons would do in their dad's garage is now not only recorded, hashtagged, and broadcasted to thousands of people, but it's also oddly encouraged and labeled as a trend, all while that trend is more likely a trip to the ER than anything else. And obviously, the more shocking the act, the more, unfortunately, the platform rewards you. Because even if yourself aren't doing it, platforms still reward this type of behavior, and it influences innocent kids like Rena into making poor, uninformed, and life-altering decisions. And also, taking a step back, even in theory, it's not the platform that's on purpose recommending reckless stuff like this, because like platforms and algorithms, they're pretty agnostic. All they want to do is serve content someone will want to watch. So the more engaging the content is, the more it's going to get recommended. And unfortunately, humans like seeing people doing reckless stuff because it's always like, hey, well, what will happen here? So if the platforms are actually going to monitor and stop all of this from happening, they're going to require to have so many employees to actually monitor current trends. If I go hashtag dusting on TikTok, all I'm seeing is people actually dusting their homes, dusting their cars, or people talking about stories of people passing away from it. So it's hard.
Okay. So 9 times out of 10, when you look for dusting, you're going to see people cleaning. You're going to see people cleaning and dusting their home, not huffing, chroming the way to get high. They're not doing all that. They're probably dusting their couch or dusting their desk or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just, bro, I don't understand how these trends get traction and how they blow up and make other people want to do it. Like, I know the virality, going viral, getting famous, but fame is not worth your life. Just simple, fame is not worth your life. It's not. And it never will be.
Find it through a hashtag. So clearly the platform has done its job and trying to reduce this. But what happens is, if it's an engaging enough video, it can pop up in people's For You page before it gets flagged. And it's just like this overall sticky situation because, millions of videos are uploaded to TikTok every single day. And it's not like someone at TikTok can manually approve or disapprove a video before every video goes up. Then you would have a queue and you just would not have a lot of videos on TikTok. So it's just this really difficult situation to navigate. And overall, it's kind of a culture problem. But I feel like the best you can do currently to stop this is to just make as many people aware as possible that this trend is extremely dangerous, especially make parents aware to tell their kids growing up that you should never do a trend like this. And I guess going back to her parents, like Rena's mom had no idea that the keyboard duster had even been ordered until things went south. And it's genuinely terrifying how fast something like this can happen.
Rena's mother, Dana O'Rourke, emphasized the easy access teens have to these chemicals, advising parents to search their children's rooms.
And I mean, I get what she's kind of saying here. The kids aren't really hiding the crazy stuff under their beds anymore. They're more or less hiding the stuff in their phones. But since her passing, Rena's family has raised thousands through GoFundMe, not just for her medical bills, but also to raise awareness about the situation. Her dad wrote, "She will be unbelievably missed, leaving the most aching hole in our lives. But if her life is to mean anything, we're going to do what we can do to prevent somebody else's child from being where ours is right now." So if you're a parent, please take the time to talk to your kids about this stuff, because let's be real, if you're not having these conversations with them, strangers on the internet might will be. And again, I mean, when it comes to trends like this, views are never worth your life. Views are never worth your freedom.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, bro. It's never worth your life. Just maybe some people just have such a low value or low quality of life, they feel like going viral is their only way out. And just because you went viral doesn't mean you're going to get money. Let's get that straight. Going viral does not mean you're going to get money off of it. It means that you may have an opportunity to create a platform where people come and engage from time to time. It does not equate to money. People are chasing validation over actual financial stability. This is what we're seeing. People are chasing validation over actual financial stability. And it's sad.
Are never worth ruining someone else's day that you don't even know on the street. And it's just unfortunate because Rena should have been known for her talents. Instead, she's now the face of a devastating and preventable tragedy. Sorry for the more downer video today. I just saw this and felt like I had a rant today.
Well, that's pretty much it. It's a tragic story about a young girl who followed the trends to her passing. So let's go ahead and look at some of these comments. This isn't a trend, it's using drugs. We called it huffing back in the 90s. So yeah, this is something that's been going on for a while. Like, we even got a term for it, huffing. You know what I mean? It's just that now that we got the internet, people want to go viral and they're going to use anything and everything they can get their hands on to try to go viral. Dusting isn't a challenge, it's just doing drugs. How are people so stupid not to realize this before doing it? When in doubt, don't. is a mantra that has saved me many a headache, both online. I like that. I'm going to give that a like. When in doubt, don't. When in doubt, don't. That's so good. I'm glad I saw that. If it gets to the point where it's hard for me to feel sorry for people who are doing this, 19 is young, but still old enough to know what inhaling this stuff is a bad idea. There are many things trying to kill you. Don't let stupid be the thing that succeeds. Man, it blows my mind that people have to be told that doing these things is stupid and deadly. Well, it's not about it being stupid and deadly. People are willing to take that risk to get the virality. But, you know, that's pretty much it, man. Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you enjoyed this reaction, guys. Toodaloo.